Who are you waiting for?
Well, you coming out of retirement, Larry?
Yes, sir. It's good.
Glad you're out of retirement.
Why
are you working with?
No.
Yes.
I know radio or something.
They have those sandals
So,
We'll wait on her to get back and we'll go ahead and call the meeting over.
There he is.
Good, you
It's a good weekend.
have a busy weekend.
Just the judge said today.
I'm trying to get an appointment. Is that correct? He has a date.
A doctor's appointment in Fort Worth.
He has an appointment. That's all I told him.
And also that special meeting
Meeting
where we were here for a week. At the extension office.
I've never seen it.
Okay, well then, good morning, and I guess I'll call the meeting to order, and Ron Keener is here to give our prayer this morning. Thank you, Ron, in advance.
You're welcome, Commissioner Kelton. Two things before I pray. First of all, Pastor Larry Key, would you stand, please? Pastor Larry Key is the new pastor at First Baptist Church Early, and he will be praying for all of us this next Monday here in the courtroom. But I want him to come today and allow me the opportunity to introduce him to you. Larry Key, K-E-Y. Pastor Larry Key and his family just moved here from the Woodlands earlier this year.
Is that close to Houston?
Yeah, close to Houston. We're thankful that he's in Brown County. Hope he stays here until he retires. But I wanted him to meet you all this morning before he comes in next Monday. And next, our church at North Lake is providing and supplying and equipping the chaplain rescue vehicle that sits over here. We're going to make sure that Daryl Johnston, that all that is supplied with equipment and support for that work, and everything from diapers to water to snacks to blankets to wipes. We're doing that, and I wanted y'all to know that that's taken care of by North Lake Community Church. And so we're thankful for that opportunity and that vehicle that will be available for emergency services. And thanks to Shane Britton, who helped us on our Thanksgiving lunch 2 weeks ago at Howard Payne. We fed about 1,700 people. And so Shane worked hard. We appreciate you and your family being a part of that. Loving Father, we're thankful for this day, this opportunity. As I prayed so often here on these past Mondays in 2021, this is a challenging time in our culture, in our country. But God, you're big enough. Nothing is too difficult for you. And so I pray that we experience the victory that comes only through Jesus Christ our Lord, and that we not in any way ever look down, but look up and not have a sense of defeat, but have a sense of victory in all that we do. We live in a positive community, and a part of that is a result of positive leadership from these assembled here today in the Commissioner's courtroom. Continue to give them vision. I pray that they would be reinvigorated in all that they do. And Father, I pray that in these days that we're in the midst of an election season. And Father, that becomes competitive and oftentimes becomes a conflict. And it stirs up emotions and things are said. And I pray that between now and next March and even on into November, that every word that comes out of our mouths would be those of Christ likeness, those of a positive nature. In no way would we be negative toward each other, that we would be uplifting in our leadership and move forward. Again, these are exciting, good days for Brown County. In my opinion, the best ever. You're doing something special. And we have a special group of leaders here who guide us. And I pray your counsel over what they do today and these days ahead, and let them continue to be a part of your work, kingdom's work here in Brown County. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Thank you, Ron, for the prayer, and thank you for the kind words.
You're welcome.
Do we have any special guests? Let's see what we got back here. Any elected officials? Well, I guess we're all special in our own special way, but anyway, I'll move on to item number 4. There's no one signed up to my knowledge for citizens' comments today. Is anything turned in? Nothing there. Okay, item 5, the consideration and approval of the agenda minutes from the November 22nd and the November 29th meetings. We have those. So is there a motion to approve those minutes?
I move,
Go ahead, Jerry.
I move we approve the minutes of November, 22 and 29.
Oh, Shaw got booted out of the whole deal. All right, all in favor? That's unanimous there.
I got those.
Is there an auditor's or treasurer's report? I don't know of one. No action on item 6. We're cruising right along here. I would like to take the bills to last, if that's all right with y'all. Okay, we'll pass on number 7 until we get to the end. 8 starts the regular agenda here. Item A is Commissioner Skelton, consideration of possible approval of action regarding the burn ban. We are currently in a burn ban. Anybody have a?
I think we need to leave it in place.
Well, it is turning brown and it is windy today. So if there's nobody needs, I guess we'll take no action. The burn ban remains in place on item A. Item B is Lisa Dick, Administrator, Brown County Health Department, update on COVID-19 response and county health initiatives. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. So we had 30 additional cases of COVID this past week. And we had 2 deaths. There was a female in her 40s and a male in his 50s. And that brings our total number of people that have passed away to 193. We continue to provide vaccines at the health department. And there are other places to receive vaccines. Most of our local pharmacies provide vaccines as well. If you want to get a vaccine, then you can call the health department, 646-0554, or you can stop by. Okay.
You have the booster shots available too?
We do have booster vaccines available. People that are vaccinated in our county, we did 233 additional first doses and 311 additional second doses. That's a combined effort that were reported into the system from anybody that lives in Brown County. So it's not just health department information. Okay. And we're at 41.38% have fully been vaccinated.
Any questions for Lisa? I guess that's it. Well, we thank you for coming and giving us a report on that. And, we'll see you guys. Are we doing this weekly or bi-weekly right now, Lisa?
Lisa?
Yes,
You want this to continue to be weekly or we talked for one time we went bi-weekly. You want it to continue to be weekly?
Can we wait until after Christmas to change it to bi-weekly?
Okay.
I just kind of want to see what the holiday season and additional gatherings brings for us.
Very good. So item C is Steve Mickelson, Brooks Smith Independent School District Superintendent. Consideration of possible approval of financially assisting Brooks Smith ISD in the purchase of a COVID-19 disinfectant machine. Is this some sort of magic machine? What is this?
This is a magic machine, yes. I'm hoping anyway. Good morning, everyone. I appreciate your seeing me this morning. Bringing something before you that is, I think, of utmost importance in these days. This is a company named called Service Wing. I'll introduce you to the gentleman that owns this company here in just a minute, but just give you a little bit of the background. With school districts right now, we have to spray everything all the time. We're constantly having to order PPE, different this, different that, wondering what the best to use is, what's safe, all this kind of thing. And really, even though we've made every effort to clean like we should, we still have dealt with, the COVID cases and stuff like other school districts. And anyway, this company called Service Wing offers a product. It's hydrochlorous acid, I think I said that right, gentlemen can correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, it's supposed to be exceptionally safe, and those that have used it, I know Paint Rock ISD has 0 COVID cases since they started using it. And we were able to obtain some of these things and spray our school for about the last, I don't know, 3-4 weeks. And since then, we have had no COVID cases. We've also used this, I believe, in Comanche County Jail system, and apparently they tout the praises of this system. It's an interesting product. It's one you can also clean with. It's not just something you spray down and disinfect. You can actually clean tables in the cafeteria. You can put it in, put it in the air. I forget what those little machines are called, but anyway, so it has a lot of different uses for it. But the big thing is the safety of the kids. That's it. And I thought, well, this would be good, a very good thing to bring before you guys and ladies. And I really just wanted to be known the importance of something like this. And this kind of do everything type of product is something we have not run across yet. We usually have to use one product for one thing, one for the next. This is kind of an everything product. And you can put it in all the classrooms. It can be going through the air. It can be wipe down the desk, wipe down, again, the kitchen, everything like this. And I think this is in the best interest of the kiddos. I think this could be used. It'd be cool to see this in all the schools. If it does what it appears to do, from what we can tell, this is a very successful product. And we thought, well, you guys have some money there that you could spend on this if you opted for it. Again, this would be a cool thing in all the districts, and I know that the district came to you or came to you before. I think it was around $250,000 we had talked about. Would run about $45,000. You could literally put this in every school in Brown County for, I don't know, $350,000, something like that. I'm not here asking for all the other schools. I'm just saying this would be a great thing to see happen. So anyway, that is why I'm here, and it would be fantastic if you could help us out. We could really use the help. And this would be a great thing for the kiddos. I cannot think of a better way to spend this money that was set for COVID relief than something like this that's specifically to assist in cutting back on the COVID cases.
When you say help, would you explain what you mean by help for this?
Yeah.
Financially, you're talking about.
Oh, financially, yes, it runs about $45,000. And yes, and our district is tight this year, contrary to what some might put out there. I'm not saying who the some is or whatever, but there's some rumors, even our beloved commissioner, who I'm not speaking poorly about, but all this ESSER funds and all these things that are happening are very short-term for districts. They're put into salaries primarily with our district to help things like, so we don't have as many kids in a room. For example, we could not afford a first grade teacher, so we had to use this money for that. We could not afford, we're using some of this money for a counselor. We're doing a lot of things to help us with safety, but those monies run out. Matter of fact, the majority of all of our ESSER money will be gone after this fiscal year. And some districts have opted to carry it into the next year, whatever, but we need it this year. So we are not just overflowing with funds. We do have, I know y'all hear about the solar and all this kind of thing. I don't know if both projects are going through officially. I know one of them appears to be going through and happening, which is a great thing. And the next fiscal year will be setting well, which is why we're getting folks together to determine how to best use the money for our district. But for right now, this particular fiscal year is a tight year for us. And anybody's welcome to come look at our budget. I'll walk you through all of it, but that is the case. And this would be exceptionally helpful for us. We'd really like to get one of these machines set up in our district. Also, this makes just a continuous flow of it. So once you're in it, once you have the machine, it's nonstop. You can just use it all the time. You can constantly wipe down the tables, put it everywhere. It's something that could just be exceptionally beneficial for our kiddos, and that's really why I'm here. I'd like to introduce a gentleman, Michael. Can you come up and speak to the product, because I don't know all the science behind it. Did I get the hydrochlorous acid? Did I get that right?
The product is hypochlorous acid, is what our machines generated. I don't know if anybody's familiar with it, or if you read any of the material ahead of time, but hypochlorous acid is actually what our white blood cells make. So there's virtually no, reaction to an allergic reaction. It's super, super safe and super effective. It's been around for quite a while, but some technology in recent years have made it more stable and where we can get it into a commercial process. But for example, our company is not only on the N list for COVID, but we're also on the K list from the EPA. So we're actually the only company in the US that manufactures the machine, generates hypochlorous acid, and has our own EPA registration. There's hypochlorous acid available in the public market, but they're using imported machines from and just producing the hypochlorous acid. And typically, even today, you're seeing that sold at $30 a gallon. With our machine, the cost of materials actually is water, salt, and electricity. In our production facility, it costs us 4 cents a gallon to produce. So the idea is obviously there's a lot of concern today about COVID, but this is not just a COVID killer. This is actually, should be used strategically, for everything within a school facility. As a cleaning agent, as a disinfectant agent, and it has an extremely broad scope. It kills viruses, bacteria, mold, mildew, biofilms. So I know some of you are ranchers, if you use chlorine dioxide, it doesn't, even that doesn't have the same broad, reach as hypochlorous acid, and it's safe. And we actually have a school in Tulsa. It's called the Little Lighthouse. It's a special needs school. They spray it on the toys. Kids can put it in their mouth. That's how safe it is. They were using a special chemical that was very, very expensive, $80 a gallon, had to mix it. We've been, working proactively with many, county and state agencies. For example, the emergency management for the state of Oklahoma bought 25 units from us to strategically place throughout Oklahoma for emergency managers so they could get it out to the community. They were going into nursing homes. On our website, you'll see one of the emergency managers. Early on, they had an outbreak of 59 COVID cases, 9 deaths. They started applying our product. Since after a year, only 9 additional COVID cases and 0 deaths from COVID. As was mentioned, Comanche County has had our system for over a year and has had in their jail facility, correctional facility. And then, the sheriff out there, when we were there a few months ago, came out and thanked us. I mean, we work with our partners. We look at, our agencies as partners. We're not here just to sell and go away. We can produce an EPA approved product. And that's it in a nutshell. I'm happy to take any questions if somebody has specifically, but we provided information to the health department on the safety of it. There's a lot of science-backed information besides just using it as a disinfectant and sanitation unit. So, we look at, yes, there's a capital investment, but after that, this school should then, from a strategic standpoint, then move into a tactical use of the product and then just basically cut their budget of everyday cleaning products, because you will be able to use this. And then when you're able to produce it so cheaply, you'll use more of it. I think that's the, sort of, as some of these products come out there that are on the N list and people are forced to pay PPE, yes, they get on that hamster wheel, but they want to use it sparingly. They want, I don't want to spend $50 a gallon for this product. Well, when you produce it yourself, it's 4 cents. And the biggest variable is actually the water. In Tulsa, it costs us about 3 cents a gallon from our public water facility, whatever the price is here. That's the other penny is salt and electricity. So very, very cheap, very good, solid product. And then, lastly, we're not promoting this, but just to give you, there have been FDA clearances using hypochlorous acid, for wound care. It's actually at 25 parts per million. It's used as a disinfectant for red eye and stuff like that. Again, just to highlight how safe. People hear acid, they get a little bit nervous, but think of citric acid. It's a very, very safe product.
What's the difference between sodium hypochlorite and this as far as actually using?
Sodium hypochlorite is bleach. It has a higher pH level, and it's going to be a little bit more corrosive. This is produced at a pH level of 6.5, very much to neutral. And again, the sodium hypochlorite does not have that same broad spectrum of pathogens coverage that we see, and with the mold, the mildew, the biofilms, and other things that come up. We were actually just last week at Tom Green County at their jail, and their jail administrator said, you really should almost lead with, for me, the mold and mildew. We're fighting that all the time. That's a very, big thing for us. I mean, it's been deployed in, also we have it in the courthouse, we have it in the schools, we have it in emergency managers. It's just, been, and we have references that back up that partnership and what it's done for them. So, we look forward to working with the schools here and I think they'll have a very, very good effect. And again, even on the pricing side, what takes place. You have somebody sick, it's very costly to, if we can even just keep out the common flu a couple of days. It's not a cure-all, but it does help. If you just have a better, disinfectant policy for your surfaces, and you can use more in a safe manner, it's only going to do good. So.
How much does one of these units produce?
We start off at 150 gallons a day, and we go up to, thousands of gallons a day. Our background was in agriculture, and we were dosing this into live animals and, into chickens and pork and seeing some very, very good results. We've been in this for 5 years. Now, 80% of our business right now is sort of more government agency, due to the COVID. But people are seeing the long-term benefits of this. Everybody's tired of COVID. I get that, but it actually has more uses than that. Very strategically sound.
What's the lifespan of this equipment?
Sorry?
What is the lifespan of this equipment you're talking about? How long does it last?
It should last. We have customers in the field that have had it for 7 years. And we actually have a maintenance program that basically keeps it in perpetual motion. But we have customers that are 7 years if the equipment's well maintained. It's pretty, it has a mixed metal oxide in a cell that creates electrolysis environment. It's hard to break that. It has a couple of peristaltic pumps. You maintain those well. Parts need to be replaced every now and then, but you should see a life expectancy at least 5 to 8 years.
Produced, they put it in gallon jugs, spray it around, or how's it distributed?
We recommend that it's produced into one master container and then dispensed into either 5 1-gallon jugs, backpack sprayers, or handheld sprayers. So
it comes out ready to run. You got to dilute it after it comes out.
That's ready to use. It's ready to use, ready to go. No mixing, no dilution.
I guess, so I think I was contacted by Bob. Maybe I misunderstood, but I thought this was only going to be a participation. They were talking about how much it costs, and they were asking for some participation in the cost. But you're asking us for purchases.
I would like for you to, if it were possible, if you're asking if we're willing to put in something, I would put in something if that's what it takes to get this through, yes.
I think I may have misunderstood. I thought that's how it was approached.
Yes, and Bob did mention that, and we have gone back and forth, and I told him I would let y'all know if that came up, that we are willing to put what we need to get it through.
What size, what production number of your machine that you're gonna have? How much that?
I think we're proposing a 300 gallon a day unit for this facility.
We could put one help, like you would ever see it, I bet.
Yeah.
I know we do this at school in the tank, because that's important.
Yes.
Central located they can distribute to all the schools. But if you don't want to look at campus. Well, no, we got, it's gallon.
We had one in the district.
It's like steel. Makes it.
Yeah, that's the big spread.
No, what he's saying is you could have one centrally located unit. It's producing
It's
300 gallons a day.
So how did you come up with 300 gallon?
Our
How did you
small-
size, how did you figure out what size one to use when you get something?
Our smallest one's 150, and just sort of as a courtesy, we bumped it up to 300 at the lowest price that we have. So we're just giving them, the extra capacity.
What do you think, how much a day do you think the residential school would use, how many gallons a day? You know, they wouldn't have to go everywhere every day.
No, I mean, it's, I would see that, anywhere from 20 to 50 gallons a day. Again, we're promoting constant use of it. I mean, use it as mop water. This is so cheap. Just use it as mop water. Keep your environment clean and do that. Now, we've heard and we support, and we have customers that use the toting and you might want to think of a hybrid situation because toting water becomes a logistical issue at some point. And we've seen where we sold one machine under that concept, and then we come back and we sell more. I mean, but however you guys, I know it's your money, and we want to work with you as a partner, but just keep that in mind. I would recommend having it where you have a real good sponsor, so. And I'm sure the health department would be sponsoring this, again, emergency management. So for example, we have one emergency management in central location in Oklahoma, and then their schools came back and we sold them 7 units. Because they have exactly just the issue of getting it to the schools, moving 20 gallons a day, somebody picking it up, delivering it. It just, but.
What is the shelf life? I mean, once you got it produced, how long is it?
So on the EPA label, it says 30 days. We are in the process, we have done a year sustainability test, and we're now in the process with the EPA removing that, year shelf life, or that 30-day shelf life. When this came about, our business was manufacturing the machines. And the reason why we got the label, the EPA label, is Wagner County, as they went to spray into the nursing home, the nurse said, you can't spray without an EPA label. They said, yes, you can, it's a state of emergency, but they turned to us and they said, can you get an EPA label so we're authorized to spray that? Again, as a partner, we did that. Very expensive. We use what they call a Me Too. Basically, I plagiarized somebody else's label, ripped it off. That's the only way to call it. But now since that, we go back and we're modifying that to say, here, we've had a sustainability shelf life of a year. Because, the EPA label is going to the lowest common denominator. If you take a glass jar, put it in the sun, you probably get about 60 days shelf life. The EPA wants after that, then you have to put that 30-day on there. Now, we, through the Tulsa Safety Fire Station and the safety chief, he's conducted independently of us a year sustainability test and shows that the product shelf life is over a year. The EPA determines everything over a year is deemed to be, expired. And that's so we will, within the next 6 months, have that removed. We're in the process, we passed the sustainability test, but the label does say 30 days. But again, at 3-4 cents a gallon, that's why we say use it as mop water. It doesn't, you don't need to store it and keep it very long.
Are there any recurring costs for this system?
Again, the maintenance is an optional, and it's 15% of the list price of the unit. So, but it's completely an optional cost.
Does it have like an electrode or something you have to replace periodically or something like that?
The pH meter has about a year of shelf life on that, that needs to be replaced. And the only other thing is really the peristaltic fans that need to be replaced, you know, on a yearly basis.
What does that cost?
I mean, you know, we're talking, the fans themselves are like, you know, $10, you know, they're very cheap. The pH meter, I think, is $600-700.
Say again,
$600-700 for the
$600-700.
The maintenance program is really white glove service. I mean, it's, if something goes wrong, and again, Comanche County is on that program. They had a little alarm, they couldn't figure it out, we couldn't diagnose it remotely. We had somebody here in 48 hours. You know, it's, and they will, again, attest to, you know, we're service driven.
The maintenance plan is somewhere around 5,000 a year, so it is pretty heavy. And it is interesting, so thanks to Bob, he was able to get us a $6,000 grant that we can apply to this. And so we take on the maintenance, I mean, and it's 5,000 a year, and I'm fine to do that, of course. And if y'all tell me we need to do more, I will certainly listen to you and give out whatever path we need. We can really use your assistance with this, and be very helpful.
How many school districts do we have?
7.
That's 7.
In jail. The courthouse.
Correct. There may be some good thought about this, I don't realize it's not as handy. Having one central located device, that's what kids do, and each one, whoever it takes, you can go with. I don't know. I don't know that answer to that. That's just a recreation.
I mean, again, I would recommend, you know, it maybe, given, you know, the school that we visit, you know, is further south than us, you know, so maybe start with them, let them out of the southern district, and then even, you know, see how much they draw, you know, and then, but I would imagine you would want at least another one centrally located. But again, it's,
So the exact price today that you brought for us is,
Well, if you take off, I believe it's $45,000.
that had the
And
maintenance.
if you take the 6,000, that is almost exactly what the grant is that Bob got for us for this thing, we put it right around $39,000.
well, it's an interesting concept. First I'd heard of it was, when I've been contacted by Bob about possibly bringing this to us. I have not seen or read anything about this prior to this.
I saw this at one of the conferences here in London. I don't remember if it was at Kalahari or the legislature in Austin. Yeah. I picked up the same brochure that y'all were in one of our commissioner and judge conferences here in the last 6 months. So.
We were in College Station in Galveston. We go to a couple of different.
Yeah, this is either in Austin or Round Rock. Of course, right out of Austin.
Yeah.
Take one step and you're in either one. You know, it's unbelievably Austin. But anyway.
Was this something somebody wants to take any action on today? Is something y'all want to look at some more, or is there any idea how to approach this?
I think we need to look at it a little more right now.
Well, that was, Shaw brought that up. So Shaw was one for the idea, he thinks the idea of a centrally located one might be maybe a better idea.
One that's not part for all the schools, I think 50 county days will over.
Don't know, we sure didn't, I mean, that's a lot of stuff, we just spraying it, but that may be a way to do it, I don't know, it's like.
I like to simply located one because
Well, we got hands going up out here. Hold on. Sheriff, would you like to speak to this?
Yeah, I'd like to say, if y'all gonna do it as a joint project with all the school districts, I've got some telephone funds that I'd be willing to put in there with it if I have access to the chemical too. We have been in contact with Comanche County Jail about this product.
And they're saying, what they're saying, they will realize results.
Right, they're getting good positive results, or negative results, I should say.
What about maybe the jail is a location?
Well, security issues, and I was thinking about utilizing the Sally Port, but that would be security issues for people coming and going all the time.
And then Lisa,
You would probably have to distribute it.
the health department, I'm sorry, I'm trying to talk
No, that's
about it.
okay.
So the health department it was mentioned, but nobody asked Lisa yet. So Lisa may have a comment on this.
So I wasn't available last week to meet, but some of my staff did. And I think that the chemical that's produced is definitely something that kills bacteria, viruses, all those things that we're focusing on, not just for COVID, but for other diseases, flu, and who knows what else could come. So I think that part is beneficial. I would want to do a cost analysis to see kind of what that looks like, or I think that would be necessary. The health department is very limited on space, as y'all already know. And I also think it would require staffing to get that out there. I don't have staff that can just cut loose from other jobs and start doing this. So I think that it's a staff thing too.
Well, we have sure got an access point. Very willing to, you know. Our emergency management, do you have anything to say to this?
It's been another one of the I just saw him in the hall today, so had no conversations, but we've worked a lot with it.
Yeah, most every school district is in Brownwood at least once or twice a week. For some reason or another. There are, I don't know if there's a place at the courthouse to do it, or maybe the extension office.
Well, there are some days, well, I hate to admit anybody anything without us, but I think it's something we ought to look into, what it sounds like.
Yeah.
How big is the machine?
Extension office.
Here's a picture, so it's.
Says 4x8,
They got that dock with that.
and then place on the wall.
Is there a product of it, like flavors or?
We do, it goes into a drain, but there is some sodium hydroxide that's produced, but it just goes down to the drain.
And the sewer system?
Yeah.
Is that
Now we do-
totally acceptable to drain it?
Yes, yeah, it's at a level, yes, absolutely. We would never do anything that wasn't compliant with
It
EPA.
looks like an RO system.
Yeah, we get, but it's not. And actually, some places actually take the sodium hydrate because it's a great degreaser, but it's, that is not as friendly, like that's, that we have a safety data sheet. It's different than the hypochlorous acid.
And as far as operating, how many man hours does it take to produce?
It's very minimal. I mean, the whole system is automated. There's a float switch, you basically, you're basically checking it out once a week. There is a brining solution. You must make sure there's enough salt, for it to generate the product. Yeah, if you spent more than 3 man hours a week, 1 man hour a week on average operating it, I would say it's over. Now dispensing it and bottling it, that's a whole different story, but the actual operation of the system would be less than 4 hours a month.
And they were talking about central, so what's the biggest emitter?
For a county, we would say it's like 1,900 gallons a day, which would do fine. If you're location.
A lot.
Yeah, I wouldn't even recommend, I would probably, maybe just go up to, 900 gallon, a day unit.
Does Anybody want to take any action, y'all want to take something?
All your,
You're gonna have to
all your
stand
rights.
up. You're gonna have to stand up.
I might say a couple more things if I could.
Yes, sir.
For Brooke Smith, the logistics of throwing water back and forth for our needs is not something that we necessarily look to, but it would be ideal to have it in the district. We are quite a ways away from Brownwood, and the idea of going back and forth all the time and pick this chemical up would not be ideal for us. I still would like to have this for our district, and I'm still asking you for that. I think it would be great to have it down here also. I'd like to see all the schools have it. I think if that's the product, it appears to be a very good thing. If it's necessary that I find monies in other places to pay a part of this, I will figure that out. This would be a lot of money for us to tackle the whole thing on our own. And if you were to approve such a thing today, he has assured me he can get it in before the holidays, before Christmas, which would be nice for all the kiddos out in other places coming back. It would be very helpful to have this system in place.
Just got a quick question. You're talking about clean with it as it comes out, but does it degrade when you add clean solution to it, such as when you're mopping floors and things like that?
You would use it strictly, you wouldn't use another chemical with it. It's not compatible with any other chemical.
So, okay.
So, but if you use it just to mop the floor, and actually like McKee Foods, they actually, because of, their food production area and how they have to clean it and stand, they actually do use just our
So
chemical.
it's not recommended to use cleaning solutions with it?
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Looks like we're going to take any action today on this, but maybe somebody needs to look into this a little more. Would that be something that our emergency management guy might want to put a little thought into, maybe talk with the jail and some other, see if you come up with a better plan, maybe perhaps.
Stephanie, the handout.
Well, sticking in the middle of this,
Maybe partnering with the health department, they've got the expertise.
and they don't have the space, but and then the sheriff was interested in talking about this also. We can't talk amongst ourselves really, and we're not in court about it. But it sounds like they want some more options. Does that sound appropriate, Shane?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Shane?
Exactly.
But the handout that you got on the tablets, can you get copies of that?
Yes, sir. It was provided to me by Bob Contreras,
Okay.
but I can print out
Are we
some,
talking
yes,
about
sir.
this one?
No, there's on your tablet, it has all the different sizes, the different gallons, and the different, how much they are. No, right here, Joe, on this thing.
On that tab, okay, I'm looking for, that's in the paper. That tab, well, it looks like nobody wants to take any action, I guess, if, maybe 2 or 3 entities are there, we'd like to work on this, maybe get back to us on that. Would you be willing to set that up? Is that okay with you guys? Is that a good decision, Shane?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're gonna take no action on this item at this time. So continuing on. I mean, it sounds interesting, but there are 7 school districts and my. They're 20 miles out each way, right?
I understand. I appreciate y'all listening.
Well, it's not like I want to know either.
I appreciate
All right.
that. We really do. Also.
All right, T for Tulsa.
Just because it says it'll produce 1,200 gallons, you either have to have a 1,200 gallon tank sitting under it, or somebody has to drain that off and put it in a tank.
Yeah.
So, when your holding tank gets full, it's just gonna sit.
Right. Yeah, let's go.
So either somebody's gotta drain it off, or you have to have a 1,200 gallon. Holding tank.
Gotta be in the freeze.
Well,
Yes.
so,
Very easy, though.
No, but we just had that last freeze and we had some blow off. I mean, so
you know,
Can it be injected into the air,
Oh.
humidifier?
Yeah, you can fog with it, yeah, you can fog, and if you use it as a fog, and, we put it in humidifiers in our own office. I mean, this is, you know, we eat our own dog food, yeah, I mean, we find it.
Well, they fogged the court out.
It's a real interesting deal for around there, and I think everybody else. But, yeah, I used to be in the chemical sales business, so I know about that stuff.
Okay.
So, but it's a pretty big batch, huge. I mean, it's looks like a worthy deal. In fact, it has multiple kilo capacity for not just COVID, you know, just COVID one of these days, it'll be over when the politicians get ready for it to.
Right.
So, yeah, anyway.
So what did they fog the courthouse with when we were fogging back during the height of the COVID scare?
We've got some, electrostatic sprayers that we bought.
What were they? What chemical were we spraying into the air?
I don't know the brand of it, we get it from Brownwood Janitorial, it's pretty reasonable.
I
Of
mean,
course,
I'm
it's
just
not
saying,
down to a couple of cents a
you know,
gallon.
we used to use a lot of sodium hypochlorite in the water system, that was our go-to disinfectants. Anyway, I don't know, they've got a hand up in the back, yes, sir?
My name is Danny Copeland, I'm principal there at Brooksmith. One of the things that we do to kind of answer your question about using 50 gallons may be too much, well, it's not. And here's the reason why it's not. We've sprayed, have been using this product for about a couple of months, maybe not quite a couple of months. We have sprayers, so we have our janitorials crew go around spraying. We spray lockers, we spray classroom desks, we spray the whole school. We also want to use it for a mopping solution. So time you, just the small school of Brooksmith, you mop that, we're using 50 gallons plus just to mop. So for the sake of the kids, this is important. I know y'all want to table it or whatsoever, but this is for the kids. The more time that you put things off like this, you know, we may have a kid sick tomorrow or the next day or whatever. So this is the important thing that we need to get out there and get in our schools. We have to drive to go pick it up. We don't have a lot of manpower to go somewhere and pick something up. So centrally located place isn't going to benefit us, because driving and spending the man hours of toting a 5-gallon bucket somewhere to do it, you're talking about 55-gallon cans of having to go somewhere. So this is a very important deal for the safety of our kids.
This brings up another question, so can you tote it in a regular poly tote, like we do out Tractor Supply, 50, 100-gallon totes, 150-gallon totes?
Yes. So we went and brought sprayers to spray it, and we walk around, and it takes both janitors at least 2.5 to 3 hours to spray our school. And that's just spraying. That's not even mopping. That's not cleaning the desk and students. And so it's used a lot. And we haven't had any COVID cases. So it's just, it's a good product.
Okay.
We need it.
Anybody else having a discussion or want to take any action today? I guess still not ready to take action today, I'm sorry on that, but I guess we will move on then. Thank you all for your time.
All right, thank you
and for
very
the
much.
presentation. Item D is Vance Hill Sheriff, consideration of possible approval of employee changes.
Good morning, y'all. I have,
Yes, sir, go right ahead.
I've got one employee change. It's gonna be a jailer. I hired Darby Adams on December the 3rd, replacing Matthew Poe at a rate of $36,000 per year. And just to kind of talk about that a little bit, we're still down about 4 jailers. Commissioner, next week, we're kind of looking at maybe interviewing for your road crew. If you would like to be present or have your foreman present, I'll get with you and let you know. But we're kind of thinking, get that person in position and maybe start in January, right at the first of the year, get them assigned to you. If that's all right with you, sir. Okay, well, I'll holler at you end of the week or something and let you know. So,
Yeah, I also know that you're gonna have another retiree pretty soon.
Yes.
It'll be my road boss or whatever you call
Yeah,
it.
Hayes, yes, sir.
Yeah, so
Robust.
that was just add another.
Yeah, and we was talking this morning, if we don't get anybody else hired, we got Hayes and then one other jailer leaving this month. We're gonna be down another 5 jailers.
How old is Hayes?
He's over 65.
Okay.
I don't know the age, but I know he's over that.
He hit the magic age, that's all I know, so he's
But I'll move we approve the employee changes at the sheriff's office.
I'll second that. I guess I could ask for a second. Any other questions of him on this? All in favor? Raise your, there you go. Looks like that passed unanimous.
Jail report, 145 inmates, TDC's doors are wide open now, so they're taking inmates. And our court systems have been working, so our population is down. Yeah, that's good. Appreciate it.
You said a moment ago that the Comanche County Sheriff had been using this solution or whatever.
Yes, sir.
And he's had, good luck with it.
Right, yeah, we're getting positive feedback from them on that. Sure, that's good. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Yeah, I don't have.
I mean, can we go, well, may have to have more than one. There's some of the programs, I don't know, maybe 2, 3 areas, but probably something, I guess something we need to look at, and you're gonna kind
Yeah,
of
we.
look into that part.
Can you imagine somebody, can you imagine a school district saying, you're gonna produce it and give it to me for free, but I just can't find a way to come drive it to that. That's incredible.
You know, but you can throw a 100 gallon, 150 gallon with like 8, it's pretty heavy, though, 100 gallon tote, or one of those
There's
containers.
those big, they're 300, 275, 300, whatever those big.
Those weigh a lot. When you-
Yeah, I know, I haul water to cows, I know how much they weigh. I can't imagine a school district gonna get chemicals for free
When I have done
in a
pickup,
central location.
all the time. I was just saying, when I have done pickup, you gotta start thinking how many gallons you haul at a time. I assume it weighs about like water.
Well, I haul,
So 8 pounds.
I haul one of those big white totes with a half ton pickup. And if somebody's gonna give me chemicals for free and all I've gotta do is drive into town and pick them up once a week.
I understand. I'm not arguing that point. So like I said, we got some guys that are looking into it for us to get back, we'll put it on the agenda for next week. Discuss that again, is that too soon?
We can shoot for next week.
Well,
Well, not by Thursday.
let's put that on the agenda for next week and we'll see. Discussion of that, disinfectant, be it for the school by itself or for the county as a whole, whatever. But there's just, I may have to figure out some way to make it very survival for everybody.
Yeah,
If it's really truly doing what
I know what's gonna happen.
if it's truly the miracle drug that they say it is, or, you know what I'm saying?
Like it.
Okay, we're down to, oh, we haven't paid the bills yet?
No.
So,
We need to pay the bills. And we still have our item 9.
You gotta look through, so
I have not,
go ahead, do that.
I'm sorry, but yeah,
See the man, please.
the man,
nothing on
Good response to you.
for a moment, for a moment.
Stephanie, fireworks need to be on the agenda next.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, good thing.
It was brought up to me this morning.
I hadn't thought of it for nothing.
She's gonna get us coffee.
You're gonna get on coffee.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion on the bills.
I move we approve the bills as presented by the auditor.
We have a motion, do I have a second? Okay, all in favor? All right, the bills are paid. We have one other item on the agenda is the commissioner's comments, no action will be taken. So if there any comments from any commissioner about anything, would like to speak to today? I'm gonna take that as a no. Yeah, so I guess we, well, adjourn, so I presume we need to meet Monday at 9.
Yes.
So I'll make, I want to just say we are adjourned till Monday at 9, how about that? Here you go, Larry.